Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing and football tips for Saturday, the 23rd of September. Well, a very poor last few days. Not been many tips, but the ones that I have tipped have been pretty poor, really. Times to start afresh, and already I've made a little mistake. I put the bet on with Bet365 because I lowered my deposit limit in Sky Bet to a fiver, realising or forgetting about Saturday, and Saturday is always more than a fiver. So rather stupidly, so the bet is on Bet365, but I do advise if you've got a Sky Bet account, use Sky Bet because you will benefit from extra place races, even more so than the Bet365 extra places. So I'm quickly going to go through the football bet. It's literally going to take me a minute. So because I think I've got £20 in the account, so I'm only putting on £20 for the day. So it's a 10 pence each way, lucky 63 on the horses, and then I've spent the rest on a over 2.5 gold treble, over 3.5 gold treble, and over 4.5 gold treble. So the matches are the same in all bets. So it's a £4.50 over 2.5 goals treble. Mansfield versus Barrow, Plymouth versus Norwich, Stockport versus Wrexham. Same again, £2 treble over 3.5 goal treble this time. Same teams or same matches. Mansfield versus Barrow, Plymouth versus Norwich, Stockport versus Wrexham, and finally a 90p treble over 4.5 goal treble. That is same teams, same matches. Mansfield versus Barrow over 2.5 goals. Over 4.5 goals. Plymouth versus Norwich over 4.5 goals, and Stockport versus Wrexham over 4.5 goals. So let's get onto the football. So let's get onto the horse racing bet. So I'm going to talk you through this. I set to these out in the last hour, and already I've forgot some of the reasoning because I don't write it down because the videos are what they are. So it's a 10 pence each way, lucky 63. The first selection is Peripatea in the 440 at Catterick. This horse is trained by Phil Kirby. It loves soft ground. It's even had a break and come back and only returned to the racetrack recently. I personally think they've been waiting for soft ground, and it's definitely got it at Catterick. I did like the look of. I think it was called Don't Look Back, but the fact that it's drifted quite a lot from what I've seen from the original price is I've kind of gone off that one. Now I do really like Peripatea, this one. Second selection is one I've been backing a few times now, and it's got its ideal soft ground. It's also interesting the fact that they will probably come near side, because I read in the Racing Post that I don't really know what this means exactly, but it looks like it means the rails have gone out onto fresh ground. I think it's on all races by something like either 12 feet or 12 yard. I think it said 12 feet. In my opinion, that might give you a fresh strip of ground, and they may well be making a beeline for the near side. I've been saying that for months now, and they've not been doing it. And then all of a sudden, on good firm ground, they've come to the near side, which they don't normally do. So yeah, I've got that totally wrapped around my neck. But yeah, so this magical effect, it's been running some funny races really at Catterick, but I think it's been waiting for this. It's been wanting this really soft ground. It's currently described as soft, and I don't really see that there's any more rain forecast. So I do believe it will be soft on the day, and it's got every chance. I do remember one of the times when Magical Effect won. I think it won by around about 9 or 10 lengths, I think it was. So yeah, I do think it's got a good chance, and it's currently 16 to 1 on Bet365. And by the way, Peripatea is 14 to 1. I couldn't stretch the screen big enough to show you the prize as well due to the Bet365 layout. Third selection is English Oak in the 345 at York. This one disappointed last time, but I do think there's more to come. I am a big fan of Safi Osborne now, and she's on board this horse today. She was also on it 2 runs ago when it ran really well at Newmarket, posting a higher racing post rating figure than its current handicap mark. So I think it's potentially capable of more, and this trainer particularly likes a horse or a runner at York. The fourth selection is Mirror Dancers in the 455 at York. This was 14 to 1, by the way. The previous one was 15 to 2. This horse is trained by Roger Fell and I think it's Sean Murray. The horses are running well. They had one run for us today. It ran nothing more than okay. Trebejo, Diteco. Well, this horse, Mirror Dancers, I do believe it'll go straight to the front, ideally. If it gets an easy lead, it's got a cracking chance. It might be a bit difficult to get an easy lead because it's quite a big field, but I do think it's got a decent chance. And it's from a stable that are like just seem to be like entering like a rich vein of form, as I like to say. So the fifth selection is Aplomb in the 225 at Ayr. I tipped this. This is 12 to 1, by the way. I tipped this horse when it ran at Goodwood, and I thought those tactics. I watched the jockey. I think, what, are you going to start riding it or what? Because it was travelling well, and it just wanted to keep moving sideways, like looking for room, but not really looking for room. Like, I'll go sideways. I'll go even more sideways. I'm thinking, at some point, are you going to go forward? Are you going to like make an effort? And it did, and it was a very fast finishing third, and it was described as an eye catcher on its reappearance this season. For me, it was just as much an eye catcher on its second run as well. It's also ran in this race in the past off an £8 higher mark, I believe. I believe it's £8, and I think it's got every chance tomorrow. 12 to 1, decentish price, but bear in mind it's a big field. And finally, I've been looking at this race, the Ayr Gold Cup, and I could pretty much back everyone. And I could give a reason for every single horse. But I've gone for a bit of an angle. It's a lowish draw. It's got Guido drawn, I believe, one higher than this horse, drawn 7 and 8. I believe they should be forcing the pace, but I think Pulse of Thought has got too much pace for it. The jockey, I look who he was, and he's a Irish young lad claiming 5. I don't know if he's now attached to the Donald McCain Stadium, Donald McCain stable. I don't know. I would have thought at some point it would have ridden this horse. Now, to be fair, I haven't got a clue why he's riding this. I've not really followed him, so maybe he's been over here a while now, and maybe he's been riding quite a while for Donald McCain, but I don't know. But I would have expected him to have sat on the horse at some point. I do believe this horse has got enough pace to comfortably lead this race. And I've seen, as much as I said, I think I could back a lot of them. There's a lot of question marks over an awful lot of horses. And I think this horse could prove hard to catch. I watched it run at Hamilton, and nothing got even close to it. It then went on to run 2 races at Chester, which it likes the course at Chester. But if you want to really bolt out, with you being on the turn quite a lot, you can never quite get full pace. And that might not quite seem right because it's won, or I think it's won, but it's certainly ran a lot of good races where it's been miles clear. Well, recently, it's been enjoying these straight courses where it can really point its toe and spread eagle the field. Don't get me wrong, towards the end of the race, I think this horse will have had enough. But I think it could make them all go. At 22 to 1, it's a bit too big for me. So those are the bets for Saturday. If you want to like or subscribe, that's great. If you subscribe, you will get a notification when I bring the next video out. Not quite sure what it'll be. I'll be keeping an eye on the soft ground and tracks that I tend to do quite well at, which at the moment seems like none. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.